We're talking about solving absolute value inequalities, and the first thing we want to do is get the absolute value by itself. So here we divided both sides by 8, and then we get the absolute value of x minus 7 is greater than 9. So we have to account for the positive and negative possibility inside the absolute value. So for the positive version, we just write down the inequality. You say x minus 7 is greater than 9. And for the negative, we say x minus 7. We change the sign or change it to a negative 9, positive to a negative, so that's multiplying by negative 1. So we have to change the direction of the inequality. And if we say great or, so when we're thinking about this one, we want to say great or then. And we need to keep that in mind when we go to graph and write down our final set builder or interval notation. So we add 7, and then we get x is greater than 16. And then we're going to have or. We add 7, and we get x is less than negative 2. We always want to write the smaller version on the left. So negative 2 is smaller than 16, so x is less than negative 2. We put or. X is greater than 16. That's set builder notation. If we're going to write this in interval notation, or means union, so that means it can be in either one. Negative 2 is the largest part of this interval, and that arrow means it's going to negative infinity. And because there's no equal sign, negative 2 is not included, and negative infinity is never included. Then we go, x is greater than 16. So 16 is the smallest, and that's going all the way to positive infinity. Positive infinity is never included. In this case, we don't have an equal sign, so 16 is also not included. So we're going to have to count by 4s here probably. So we'll put a 0 here. So let's put negative 2 halfway between. That's going to be an open dot, and we're going to shade to the left. And then 16, 4, 8, 12, 16 is going to be right here. And that is also going to be open dot, and we're going to shade to the right. Next one. First thing we do is we can add 14 to both sides. And then we get the absolute value of a minus 3 is less than 8. And then we have to account for, to get rid of the absolute value, we have to account for the positive and the negative. In that case, we just write the inequality down. We have a minus 3 is less than 8. And then with a negative value under or in between the absolute value. So we have a minus 3, and we change from positive 8 to negative 8. And because we do that, we have to change the direction of the inequality. And remember that this one is less than. So we're thinking and between these two inequalities. So we add 3. And then we get A is less than 11. And then we add 3. And then we get A is greater than -5. So we write this down as a compound inequality. We write the smallest one first. So -5 is there. The arrow is pointing to the -5, so we're going to keep that pointing to the -5. Our variable in this case is A, and A has to be less than 11. So the arrow is pointing at A. So there's our compound inequality there. And our solution for this one is going to be between -5 and 11 in interval notation. So this is interval notation. Neither are equal, so we're going to use our parentheses to show that they're not included. And so we can count by 5s for this one. So 0 will be here, make this -5, and 0, 5, 10, so 11 will be right here. And in this case, we want to draw the line that's between them. So open circle at 5, open circle at 11, and then we can draw the line in between.